Morning. There's something going on there. Can't get it off. Oh well. I like it a little better. Let's see if she comes in. Morning, Sue. Thank you. Yeah, it looks brand new. Even better than before. My cat knocked it off the counter here, and so I had to redo it all. So I went ahead and I polished it up. Hi, Chair Bear. Good morning. Cool thing about this is This is the only one that's two pieces. Good morning. So, since the cats broke it, I decided to go ahead and redo the entire thing. I had to re-epoxy the base, which I went on my other channel and showed me re-epoxying it. And then I decided to go ahead and lacquer the whole thing. Hang on, let it come around again. We'll throw it back on there. But this is something I made a couple years ago, or last year. It means a lot to me. How are you both doing today? Yeah, a lot of people haven't seen my artwork yet, so I'm going back and now that I'm feeling better about myself, I'm going back and fixing them up for a gallery. I'm going to try to put them in a gallery this coming up here and see what happens. And I'm going to start throwing them on Etsy again and start putting them out there. I've got several new ones that are coming out. I've got a bunch more to make and get them sent out to people that deserve them, and I sell those. So but I figured I'd go live, see if this one person, I wanted to talk to this one person, but I don't know if she's going to come in or not. I figured I'd show this off. I spent probably 4 hours on it last night. I went ahead and lacquered everything. I mean, I sat there and I polished all the aluminum again. I went and I took the 600 grit sandpaper and resanded the base while it was all taken apart, and re-lacquered the base, and then epoxied the bottom part, epoxied that back in, and like I said, the cats knocked it off the counter and broke it. Hey, Loops. Even this piece came off the heart. It's not, that's solid rock that I found about 10 or 12 years ago. And, it's not drilled. It's just kind of, it fit perfectly. So I made this last year. So we went ahead, we went through the whole thing, and we redid the entire sculpture last night. Like I said, it took about 4 hours. It's one of my favorites. It's pretty cool. It's oh yeah. I'm getting back into my art. I really need to get back again. I haven't. I think I made one art piece, and I did send it. I only made one new one this year, and I got it sent out to somebody. She lived in Georgia, I think, or Alabama. I don't know. My memory's not too good anymore. But so I'm going to go ahead and focus on my art again. It's been since last September that I actually really did anything with it. Actually, probably last August is more like it. But you Again, I spent like four hours on this last night redoing it. It came out nice, so I figured I'd show it off while I was waiting for somebody. I really don't go live anymore, so we'll see what happens. How's everybody doing? What y'all got going on this weekend? Yeah, I know I'm boring. Look at these idiots. Yeah, it's all because of you two. You guys broke it. Bob. You're not Bob, you're Mouse. All right, get down. Get down. Silly cat. I'm not allowed up here, but I've kind of messed up and just didn't care about it anymore. I've been sitting here all week. I haven't gone anywhere. I figure I'd show this off. A lot of people haven't seen my artwork in a very long time, so figure I'd come on here and answer any questions if anyone had any. I may throw up a couple more while we're waiting. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to see how this lacquer does. Yeah, I saw you over there on the other channel, Loops. I hope everything works out with that situation that you're in. It's good luck with that. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea what's going to happen with me. Well, yeah. I mean, it's. I've been sitting in the house all week. I mean, all I got's a window unit that cools my house down, and it's finally cooled down enough to. So even the power went off for about an hour. We had a big old thunderstorm come through last night. As soon as I got up at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, as soon as I got up, the power went out for about an hour. So everything got shut down, and I've just been really tired. Last couple of days, I just been really tired. I'm trying to clean up my house, and I've got so much to do. I'm going to start working on these wind chimes, and again, I'm going to start focusing back on my art. I'll try to get some of it sold. I figured I'd come on and show my piece. I'm going to probably take a video. I'm trying out my new phone, see what the camera does with it. But I don't know. Again, I just don't know anymore. I've been up since 2 a.m. I would like to see that, Loop. So I'm trying to get my sleep hours straight. I've been staying up all night and sleeping all day. Of course, this past week, it just, in 105-degree weather, and, just sleep during the day and stay up all night. And I've been doing little bits here and there. I did go outside last week on the hottest day of the year and melted some brass and poured it down a couple ant hills and burnt the shit out of my finger. It was blistered up pretty good, and there's a good picture of it. Yeah, now it's blurred again. But, I've been kind of staying out of everybody else's channels, and I've been hanging out in this one channel playing some crossword and some other stuff. But I think I'm gonna probably settle down on that channel also. I'm just tired of YouTube altogether. Anyways, this is the Blackened Heart. It's a rock that I found about 12 years ago, and I made this last year. It comes in two pieces, so you can actually pull it off. I did lacquer this. It's the first time I actually lacquered my aluminum. Um, so, but it's a really neat piece, and it just came together so perfect when I was making it the first time. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Loops. Hi, Carl. How you doing today? Good afternoon. You must be over in the UK. Thank you. Yeah, I got a few pieces. I'll throw up another one here. Um, I've got several pieces. I'm going to clean up, and like I said, I'm going to try to get a hold of an art gallery, maybe in Nashville, maybe Chattanooga. Chattanooga is really big on art, so hopefully I can get a hold of somebody in an art gallery. Hey, Vince. Vince, you're awesome, dude. But I was just going to kind of show this piece off. Um, I think my friend's going to go. Chattanooga's really cleaned itself up a lot. Um, is becoming a ghetto? It just depends on where you're at in Chattanooga. Yeah, southern Chattanooga, you just got to kind of watch yourself. But I haven't lived there in several years. I live in between there. I rarely go to Chattanooga. This is Waterfall. This is one of my other favorites. Come on. I don't know if I can get that to stay. All right. I'm going to polish this one up again. I'm going to repolish all my stuff. Ah, yeah. I lived in Chattanooga for about 15 years, and maybe a little bit longer than that. I used to work for the billionaire people there and took care of all the buildings downtown. Some of them, but Now I live in the sticks and I don't work. Really, I love where I live. If I was retired and if I could just stay here and do my art, that would be one thing. But there's no work where I live, and you got to drive a long ways to find it. I really don't care for the people around here either. So, but Chattanooga actually cleaned itself up. From what I heard, Chattanooga was like a dump. When I lived there, they were cleaning it up, and downtown was, looking pretty nice. But still, just like every other city or whatever, they've got the homeless problem, and but they started doing a lot of artwork down there. Yeah. Um, Morning, freaking. Thank you. Yeah, I may start showing it off every morning. I'm going to start working on my art again. I mean, it's all I got going for me right now. um, this is waterfall. I'm going to make a smaller one and send it to somebody that I owe. This one is just too awesome to. Hey, get down. Get down. That's a good girl. Um, yeah, but yeah, Mouse and Bob, they broke the Blackened Heart, and so I redid the whole thing. Mural. Well, I've been watching a lot of art people different because I mean, I can't paint, I can't draw, I can't do anything like that. But so this is my art. Um, trying to get these art pieces out of my head. It's kind of hard. When I was going through a rough time last year, I went and made this one, which I've got to clean up, and I think I'm going to just start lacquering everything. I wasn't going to lacquer the aluminum, but this is called Demons. This is pretty much where my head was last year, since last September. So, but I'm going to have to go through it and redo this one. Try to make it look really sweet. Polish it, and we're going to re-lacquer it. We're going to lacquer the whole thing. So, they gave me 18 months last time for my. Huh? Oh, your graffiti. Okay. Murals. I see what you're saying. I see. Well, they do that. They do a lot of murals and graffiti now everywhere. Um, so, but yeah, I couldn't do anything like that. I'm not an artist in that kind of sense. I can't draw. You went in, yeah, well, yeah, it's called graffiti. It's not called murals. It's called graffiti in their eyes, vandalism. So, Yeah, it just all depends. Um, so yeah, I really need to look into galleries settings for my work. I went to the flea market last November, and everybody liked them, but I mean, they just kind of walked by. I did sell one of my big ones for $200, um, maybe 300. It was either $200 or $300. I sold. It wasn't one of my really cool big ones. It was just a different one that I poured, and yeah, I lost my ass on that one. But there's a lot of work that goes into all this. Even something like this. I've got. I'm going to probably spend another 8, 10 hours on this, cleaning all this, polishing all the aluminum, and then I'm going to resand the base. I'm not going to pull it apart, and I've got several pieces that I've got to do. So um, I'm going to make a bunch more of these, and these are what I'm going to send out to. I decided that I'm going to make a bunch more of the dice bases, and um, I owe the coin community several pieces, so they're just going to get dice. I decided that's what I'm going to do for them. Yeah, I've made 5 of these, and I've given. I actually, I don't know, my dumb drunk ass gave one to some girl at Dollar General just because, not that I liked her or wanted anything to do with her, but she was just always really nice to me, and helped me out with my Cash App because Cash App kind of screwed me over, and so I gave her one for Christmas, and I gave some other person one. Um, and then the coin community's got a couple so far. So, but I'm going to make some more dice. Um, they're they're not easy to make, but it's compared to other ones that I've made, um, trying to get the bases done. So, but this one's going to get shipped off most likely soon. Again, I've got to come up with some money. That way I can start sending some off. I am going to make a bunch of new ones. I think I'm going to try to save my older ones and remaster them. But so we got the dice there. I'm kind of going through these really quick because I am going to get going here. Maybe check out a friend. This one's top of the world. Just different pieces. I think I might add to this one a little bit. I don't know. It's got kind of plain right here. So probably going to add to that. Yes, they're from. I melted a whole bunch of aluminum, and I've poured like 6 or 7 huge, huge ant ant heels, fire ant heels. They're all mainly fire ant heels. Yeah, they. No, that's how I got into this was YouTube. I saw it on YouTube. It came up as a suggestion, and I'd never seen it in my life up until, you know, three years ago, three almost 4 years ago, I guess now. And but these are pieces from the main pour. You know, I call these my sculptures. The main pour is called a casting, where you know, you dump the molten aluminum down, and then, you know, it takes anywhere. And, you know, the big fire ant heels take about 4 hours to pour. And you just keep melting aluminum, and you melt it and melt it and melt it and just keep pouring. Um, but these are pieces that I poured two huge ones, and they were full of rocks. So I ended up just shattering two of my big pours to make these little ones. That way people can afford them and just, you know, make intricate stuff, different things. And I've made some really, really bitchin' art pieces that I've sold pretty much mostly last year up until September. Then I decided I'm done with it. Um, you know, I mean, we've got several pieces. I've made so many. I've made little miniature ones, and, you know, just as like to get my name out there. This one's all nice and dusty. Wipe it off a little bit, anyways. Well, the crows are out, but, you know, I mean, if I've already redid these and cleaned them up, and this is just a regular ant heel, and this is solid brass. I did a couple in copper, done quite a bit. Gatta, Gatta's the only one you're the only one that I've shipped out this entire year. That's who I was talking about earlier, that she's the only one that got one from me this year, and it's good to see you. That's the only one. She's got the only one that I made this year. Hi, Tina. Good morning. Um, um, I wasn't planning on being on here this long, but how you doing, Gada? Um, that would probably be interesting there, Loops. Okay. Yeah, I guess you can do whatever you want. uh, Trying to stay as cool and dodge the storms. Yeah, I had one. I've been kind of staying up at night and sleeping during the day, especially through the heat. And we had a major thunderstorm come through last night, knocked the power off around 4 o'clock. And I just got up at 4 o'clock last night, and it came through and knocked the power off, and that kind of stunk. Hmm. I don't know. It's supposed to rain again. It's kind of cooled down here in Tennessee. Obviously, you know where I'm at, so. But it's kind of cooled down here in Tennessee to where, it's bearable. Um, the power knocked my AC out last night, and I just kind of left it off, and it's not too bad in here. Yeah, I lived in Virginia there for a little while. Kentucky got hit with a bunch of tornadoes this year. Texas just hot the other day. I couldn't live in Texas. I lived in Colorado, and Colorado's beautiful. Southern Colorado, Pagosa Springs, right above Texas and Arizona and New Mexico, and um, I don't know. I built a couple houses for some Texans, and um, this is back in the '90s, so yeah, I wasn't too fond of them. I yeah, I mean, I've driven through the top of Texas, and the Panhandle and stuff. Here, I'm gonna throw the Blackened Heart back up. Um, you know, I mean, this is what I've been working on. I worked on this for 4 hours. I redid it. Like I said, the cats knocked it off. This is the Blackened Heart, and the cats knocked it off and broke it. They knocked it off the countertop, but this is something I made last year that I really like. But I went ahead and we polished it and we re-lacquered the entire thing, and it's just beautiful. It's a two-piece. It's my only two-piece that I ever made, so it's really unique. Yeah, I didn't care for Virginia where I lived, anyways. I really didn't care for Virginia too much at all. Um, Kentucky, I've driven through Kentucky. I've never lived in Kentucky, so I don't even know why I came back to Tennessee. I hate Tennessee. The summers suck. It's so humid and hot. I don't like the people. Yeah, I'm trying to get a truck. I mean, I've moved around. I was born in Reno, Nevada. I was grew up in Lake Tahoe and Truckee, building multi-million-dollar homes and timber frame homes and big lumber homes, and but I moved from there and went to Arizona. Arizona sucks. Don't ever go to Arizona. Um, yeah, there you go, Tina. Again, all my life I had my first when my mom moved back to Reno, I stayed in Truckee and I moved into a tent and I stayed in a tent all summer long building houses. And then the next summer, during the winter time, I went and rented a place with somebody else, and I hated roommates. And next summer, I went back and stayed in my tent, and then I got a camper that I rebuilt, a little trailer, rebuilt it, and lived in it for off and on for over 6 years, and traveled from California, Arizona, Colorado, back up to California, ended up in Vegas, back to Arizona. I don't know, all over the place. So I miss it. I miss traveling around, seeing new things, meeting different people. $2,500. Well, that's not bad. Good job, Loops. A little over a year doing this and have been to lots of states. Yeah. I mean, that was my life. When I got tired of a place, I just pack everything up and go. Go see something new. I've been from coast to coast. It's nice just to see new things and meet new people. Wow. Even toilet paper. New toilet paper? Oh, I'm glad it came with new toilet paper, Loops. I'd hate to use toilet paper. Really, you got to really watch out for that. Mm. I got a motorhome once for $400, and the roof leaked, so it was molded inside, and that's why I got it for 400. Ran great, and I started to, I demoed the roof and everything, and I started fixing it up, but then I just lost interest and just didn't care anymore. Yeah. I'd rather have a tow behind camper. I did have one even when I moved here. I had one, a huge, huge Coleman, and I really didn't like it. It was nice, it was new, but it had a lot of problems, a lot of problems. And but I'd rather have just a tow behind camper with a truck, and it's actually really cheap living when you got like a tow behind camper and a truck, and then you can go and just drive, and wherever you end up. Me being a carpenter and contractor, I can find work anywhere, and just work, and $400 a month in rent, can't beat it. Just hang out, and then a month or two later, if you want to go somewhere else, just pack up and go. Went with the older models that were built better. Yeah. It's just depends on what you want to do. I'm going to be making a few more of these guys. I'm going to make another pool table, an epoxy pool table. But gosh, man, these things, I've got to clean these things up. But I'm just happy that I got my Blackened Heart rebuilt. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shut this down here pretty quick. I just figured I'd come in and show off. I want to see if she's on yet. She probably is. She is. But I think I'm going to shut this down, people. I'm going to relax. I got a lot to do today. I'm having a hard time seeing. You too. Thanks for coming in, Tina. I'm still working on. I'm still working on myself, so I haven't forgotten about anybody. And yeah, I may go live tomorrow. I'm gonna try to clean up my house a little bit. It's dirty, but I've got a bunch of art that I've got to clean up, and I got a few pieces that I want to try to fix. So thanks for coming in, everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and we'll see you later.